This is the day that my client realized it was not her strategy, it was actually her frequency. Also known as the day that my client realized that her nervous system was cock blocking her sales flow. So, you know, that moment where you are staring at your business and you are literally thinking, I've done everything right. Like, what is actually going on? You're posting, you are showing up, like you are doing. And the thing is, you're doing everything right. You're doing what you've been told to do, what you've been taught to do, what your body is pulling you to do. And so if you're in this place and you know that your offer is validated and you have all of the systems in place and you're still sitting there like things were flowing, things were working, and now they are not. And it's not maybe that they're not working, but it's actually just that they're stagnant. They've kind of come to this stall, like a pause. And so then you're journaling and you're visualizing, and maybe you've saged your laptop. And yes, we do sage our laptop and our phones in my world, but you're still hearing crickets. And if that is you, if you are in a point of stagnation in your business or with a certain offer that you are trying to fill, and that is bringing you a sense of frustration, then it's not your strategy. It's your frequency. So welcome back to Resourced. My name is Jessica Reed. If we have not met, I am a business mentor, I am an energetic strategist, and the woman who will gently drag your energy out of survival mode so that your strategy can finally breathe. And today I'm going to tell you a story about one of my clients. Now, this is a really recent story. I had this conversation only a couple of days ago. So this is a woman who has built serious momentum. She's been in my world for a couple of years. She's built serious momentum, but recently she's hit that invisible wall. And that's the wall where effort has stopped matching the results. Now, within minutes of talking, we were actually able to find the block. And it had nothing to do with her marketing plan, which is where most people would start. This block was sitting deep in her body. So this episode today, I'm going to share what that looks like. I'm going to share this story and you are going to go, oh, I'm going to stop looking at this first and instead I'm going to focus over here. Because today is going to help you to spot when your business has outgrown your current frequency. It's going to help you understand why you are doing more and why that energy is actually repelling the thing that you want. It's also going to help you to learn what alignment really means when you're scaling, growing your business from safety and not stress. So this conversation came up as I was talking to her because she said, I feel like I'm really stuck right now and I'm frustrated. And we're having those thoughts, burn it all down. You're like, should I just give up? You know, the ones that come in, I get them too. Like, let's not pretend like these things don't happen, okay? These are the thoughts that's like, I'm doing everything. My offer is great. My content is great. No one is booking. What is going on? Now, most mentors would say, okay, let's tweak your funnel. Let's get more eyes on your offer. Like, let's look at that first, but not me. In my world, all of that matters so much, but we start with the frequency. So as I have been through this line of questioning so often through my own world and through my clients, I have actually developed or realized that there is a process that I follow. Okay, there is a hierarchy of things that we look at. And I call this now my stagnant to sales flow diagnostic. And so this is what I was talking her through. Okay, we started with the first question. We always start with, what frequency am I leading from right now? Let's just identify, let's get real. Where am I? Mind, body, energy. And don't worry, I am putting together a resource, a free resource that will help you be able to download this diagnostic and look at this for yourself. Okay, so I'll let you know when that's all ready. But we start first of all looking at your current mind, body, and energy. And then we're going to look at who you are actually being as you turn up right now. So that's identity. Now, when we are looking at who you are being, the next thing we look at is, what is the vision? And where there is often so much disconnect is between the vision. Maybe the vision has grown or you've outgrown the vision. That is normally that first disconnect there, okay, before we even get down to any kind of marketing messaging or anything, right? And so she said to me, my vision feels big, okay? It was big. It's big. It's bigger than it had been. She knew clearly what she wanted. But then all of the unhealed things come in. Those old, and actually for her, I'm not going to say that they're actually unhealed. I actually think it was just more of those things where the body went back into its regular old patterning. But lucky we brought in awareness of that straight away. So it's those stories. Can I actually get these results? Why would someone, trust me? Like, it's those stories. And as I said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't get those kind of stories too. We all do to some level, but it's what we do with them, and it's how we recognize them when we use things like my grace protocol, or we use things like this frequency check-in to be able to move them through. So her vision was big. It was really inspiring. And then we started thinking about what it meant to get to that vision. So we've identified where her beliefs and her identity is not actually allowing her to stretch into that. And then we actually realized that her current income goal, which felt big for her, her current income goal, double her current income, actually also felt unattainable. Her body contracted to that. It was this full piece of, am I worthy enough to do this? Can I really create these results? But also she has a very high freedom value. And so by trying to get to that end goal with just one core offer that only involves one-on-one, there's also that unconscious resistance of, oh, how much am I actually going to have to be on to be able to get to that? Now, so often what happens, and this woman is not burnt out in her business, but in her previous job, she had been through so much emotional challenge just to make around about the same take-home money. And I say that because obviously in a business, we've got our tax and we've got our GST and we've got all our expenses. So if we want to take home 80 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, then let's double that for revenue, right? So for her to bring home what it is that she wanted to bring home, and therefore turn over what she needed to turn over in her business, her body also remembers, hey, to earn this amount of money before, I actually had to sacrifice a whole heap of myself, my well-being, my beliefs in that environment in her past job. And so you see here how we're actually finding all of these reasons why her nervous system is literally cock-blocking her sales. Now, if she is going, do you know what? This current income feels good. I'm quite happy with this current income, even though my goal is this and my vision is this. If that part of her trying to keep her safe is saying that, then guess what happens? And this is a thing that just dropped in. I said, why would people be booking calls? That's why you're not getting more calls. Because right now, this bigger income feels contracting, it feels scary, it feels unattainable based on the identity that you're leading it with. And if you had more calls, if you had more people right now, it's going to get you closer to that big income. So why would you be delivered those people? It's an energetic mismatch. So again, we have not yet gone into what perspective shift are you leading with in your content. We've not gone into any of that, because if she does not address that mismatch, if she does not address that and do that work and find a way, which we will help her do, to find safety, and we talked about ways to get to that, to find that safety. We talked about how building an offer ecosystem that would actually hold that level of income will happen over time. It's that gradual stretch and expansion. We talked about all of that. But if she doesn't find a way to work through this and to do that and to use this awareness now to move forward, then she will continually be blocked and stay blocked at around about this level of income, and her vision will continue to feel too big. So it's coming down to her mind, her body, her energy, her emotional state, which is all then forming who am I being right now. And as I said, the very first mismatch that we generally identify is that either the vision has gotten bigger and your identity hasn't caught up, or your identity has stretched and your vision is no longer big enough. So I would love to sit here and say, because I know this woman is so fiercely dedicated to what she does. And, you know, I talk about multiple parts. There is a part of her that deeply, deeply wants more, that deeply wants that bigger income, that deeply wants that bigger impact, that deeply wants that big vision. And we're not just going to wake up magically and be in that identity. We are taking step by step, layer by layer, on our own timeline of healing. And I want to say that one again, on our own timeline of healing. That's it. No one else's timeline. Not because you think you should be there. What is the timeline of your business success? What is the timeline of you getting to that big vision? I don't know. It depends on how long it takes, what you have to deal with, what you have to experience and live through, what lessons you are here to learn in your life, and how willing you are unconsciously are to learn them. But that's why we look at business holistically. Because for this client, she is saying, I consciously desire this, while her frequency is saying, don't send me any more clients. And the universe is being the world's best mirror. It is listening. Now, I would love to say, oh, and now she's fixed her frequency and she's filled her containers, but we're not there yet because we literally had this conversation 2 days ago. But what she does know right now is exactly where the block is that is keeping her feeling like this in her business, and exactly where her internal focus is to be able to move forward. Because she has a brilliance.
Thank you for tuning in to Resource with Jessica Reed. If today's episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to share it with another soul-led entrepreneur who is also ready to rise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and stay connected, because when you are deeply resourced, you become unstoppable. Until next time, my friend, stay resourced, stay radiant, and trust in the magic that is you.